Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, we go over to the Bellagio Hotel Casino, where we join former United States Senator Reid for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The holidays are upon us, a time of celebration, family gathering, and gratitude. There are gifts to be wrapped, feasts prepared, love shared, and memories made. Life is precious, so let us cherish each other and all that we have. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We thank you for letting us enrich your lives, and thank you for your support throughout the year. Happy holidays.
RANNV.org.
Hello, is this D&D Roofing?
Yes, it is. How may I help you?
You did such a great job on my roof. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner.
Oh, can I speak to your supervisor?
Sure.
How may I help you?
I love your work. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner. We're all owners. Well, that's why at D&D we work so hard to keep your home safe and sound.
Oh, no wonder.
D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal. Local, employee-owned, here for you.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday. Trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're coming to you from the Bellagio, from the office of former United States Senator Reid, and it is a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for having us back again.
Thanks for interviewing me.
I want to talk about something that's very topical right now. You and I have both seen The Irishman, the latest Martin Scorsese movie, and I was curious to get your opinion on that.
Well, of course, they talk about Las Vegas a lot in the movie because Teamsters had a lot to do with a time when Nevada was desperate. I should say Las Vegas was desperate for an infusion of money. They got it from the Teamsters. Even though there was some shenanigans with the loans, not a single one of them was bad. They were all good loans. But the movie talks about that. I enjoyed the movie very much. Pacino acting as Jimmy Hoffa was great. And of course, De Niro was the Irishman, was above good.
One must point out that you were the chairman of the Gaming Commission from 1977 to 1981, and appointed by your good friend, Governor Mike O'Callaghan. And, in this time period, and this has come up on Facebook recently, people showing video of you and Lefty Rosenthal where there was a big shouting match at the commission. Your thoughts on that time?
Well, Lefty Rosenthal was the only person I was ever afraid of. I wasn't afraid of him physically, but I was afraid of what he would do. He was the kind of guy that didn't hurt you himself. He hired somebody to do it. One of my friends who has since passed was living with his roommate, and his roommate had been going out with one of Lefty's girlfriends. He was killed one morning coming out of the apartment. So Lefty Rosenthal was a bad guy. I've never watched the movie Casino because they tried to make him something he wasn't. They tried to make him a good guy, I'm told. So as a result of that, I'm not going to that movie. Never will see it.
At that time, the mob planted a bomb under your wife Landra's car. Can you share with us what that was?
Well, it wasn't her car. It was our car. She happened to be driving it. And I can still remember that. Fire trucks came, police cars there. I can remember my little 5-year-old boy looking out the window at all that. I can't imagine it really had a tremendous impact on him. But yes, I do remember that. I remember until I went to Washington, we started our car with a thing like a garage door opener. We'd press a button and search for a bomb. If there's no bomb, it'd start the engine. I remember that. So going to Washington was a relief to me.
Governor List, from that time, says that during that period when you guys were shutting down all these mob-run casinos and taking away their licenses, that he wore a bulletproof vest. Did you as well?
No, I didn't wear a bulletproof vest.
There was a book that came out when John Gotti was going through all of his trauma in New York City called Double Cross, that was written by the nephew of Sam Giancana, who is also Sam Giancana, and Giancana's brother, Chuck Giancana. And they talk in that book about Joe Kennedy and him being a bootlegger, and describing how he was going to be taken out by the mob, and that Giancana got in the middle of it and stopped that from happening. And how in the book, I'm not saying this is true, but in the book, it says that the mob really worked hard to elect John Kennedy and to be president. And the end result was that there was supposed to be a deal where if John Kennedy became president, that he would stay away from the mob. But in fact, and this is the title of the book called Double Cross, that Bobby Kennedy, of course, came after the mob very, very hard. And it suggests in that book that the mob was responsible for the assassination of John Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy, and also that they were involved with the CIA in Cuba because of the fact that the mob owned the casinos there and wanted to get them back. Do you have any thoughts on this or the Warren Commission?
I'm not much of a conspiratorial theorist. I think that that's not true. I think that it's pretty clear that who killed Kennedy and why they killed him. Sirhan killed Bobby. That was certainly no big mob-related deal. I just think that these things happened. I understand there's a mob. I'm personally affected by what they did and didn't do. But no, I don't accept those two theories.
Have you read the full Warren Commission report?
No.
Do you think that in our lifetimes that this will ever fully come out?
Yeah, I mean, it's out pretty much right now, the Warren Commission report. I have not read it, but I've read many summaries of it. It was something that I'm glad they did it. But one thing I think it did for me is do away with the fact that there was this conspiracy to kill Kennedy. I don't believe that.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk politics right after this timeout.
Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia. Yeah.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with former United States Senator Reid. You always praise Nancy Pelosi. I mean, it's a frequent thing. Chuck Schumer, not so much. Is there a reason?
I just wrote Nancy a letter today. Among other things in the letter, I told her, thank you for the beautiful orchid. She always sends me one on my birthday.
You just turned 80, and congratulations.
And I told her she would go down as the best speaker in the history of the country, and I believe that. I dealt with her. I was the leader when she was speaker the first time. I admired her so very, very much. I think what she has done for our country during her second speakership is really something for the history books. She has been really, really good. I think that Chuck Schumer, my successor, is a fine man. I talk to him often. I make sure I don't interfere with what he's trying to do. So I try not to be involved in things that might embarrass him. But no, I think Chuck's a good man. I helped him get where he is today. And what people don't know about Schumer, he's really smart. You can't find many people that got a perfect score on the SAT and a perfect score on the LSAT, law school aptitude exam. He got a perfect score on both of them. Didn't miss a single question.
Is your relationship with Nancy Pelosi the reason that Yucca Mountain is not getting funded ongoing?
I think that Yucca Mountain is way past time to even talk about it with any degree of affirmation. Yucca Mountain's not going to happen. We don't have the money to do it. It costs billions of dollars to restart that program. And I think it's just not going to happen. We've learned in the interim that we don't need it. You can store nuclear waste very safely in dry cask storage containers, put a little bit of below ground, safe forever.
You said to the candidates in a Vice interview for them to be, these presidential candidates, to be less radical, fix Obamacare. You and I have talked about this when you were back in D.C. How do you fix Obamacare? What are the top 2 or 3 items that you would do?
Well, the first thing we have to do with Obamacare is recognize that the Republicans have tried to chip away at it. It's not as good as it was when we passed it. So that would be the first thing we would do. Just fill in the things that the Republicans have done to damage it. They were afraid to repeal it because they knew they would be in big, big trouble. So they've just tried to damage it. So I think Obamacare can be fixed fairly easily. We get a Democratic Congress and a Democratic president.
Okay, but I mean, give me a couple of specifics. I mean, obviously, I presume you're talking about the fact that everybody should have to have insurance is the biggest thing that the Republicans were able to chip away. Would that not be the case?
Well, I think there are a lot of things that have been hurt, but the main principles of Obamacare that sell very, very well. No termination based on pre-existing condition. No limit on how much insurance would cost. You couldn't take it away, even though you get cancer instead of a broken arm. Those are some of the things that they've tried to damage, and they've done a pretty good job of hurting it.
Does Medicare for All make any sense to you whatsoever?
Medicare for All, to me, is something that is unnecessary. I've said publicly, I'll say to you, Sam, let's take Obamacare, put in a public option, and we're good. We almost had a public option anyway. I had it done for 24 hours, and Lieberman changed his mind. But it's something that Medicare for All is something that is far too expensive, and first of all, it's not going to pass. Whether you have a Democratic Congress or Republican Congress, whether you have a Democratic president or Republican president, it's not going to happen. It costs too much.
Let's turn to immigration, which you also spoke about in that Vice interview. You were against decriminalizing illegal border crossings, and in fact, most people that come to the country and stay illegally, or out of status, as it's called, come through the ports of entry. Do you agree with that? that statement?
Yeah, a lot of the problems we have are people overstaying their visas and things of that nature. I think it would have been a mistake to decriminalize border crossings. I don't think the border should be free. There should be borders between countries, and there should be rules.
Immigration reform. We frequently hear the term comprehensive immigration reform, which was something that we did get back from the Reagan administration, but it was actually started by President Carter back in 1977. Because of the politically charged atmosphere we have today, do you think it would be better to try and take off a piece at a time with immigration? For example, look at the unemployment rate in this country. We need workers.
I was present when the last major immigration bill passed. It was in 1983. And you're right, it started back in 77 under Carter. We're not going to get comprehensive immigration reform under the present makeup we have of the Congress. You can't do pieces of it, because if you don't take care of the migrant farm workers, then you can't take care of the people that are here on E-Verify or want to be here on E-Verify. You just have to do it together, because you can't do one without the other, because the people who are not getting what they want won't allow it to go forward. But immigration reform is something that can be done. It has to be done. The immigration system is broken and needs to be fixed.
And do you see any idea within the next 4 to 8 years that we could have that? Because you saw the last time it went through, it was so fraught with minefields that it seemed like every time you turned a corner, somebody else was there to blow it up.
Well, do I see it happening in the next 4 to 6 years? The answer is no. I don't think we're going to get comprehensive, but I do think we're going to make significant changes in our immigration system.
All right, let's take another break. We'll be back with Senator Reid after this timeout.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. At Design Outdoor, we specialize in all hardscapes, pavers, and walls you'll need for everything, from wonderful small yards to full-blown outdoor living. And we only refer the best contractors to make your vision a reality. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York, and because I represent men in all family law matters, women often call me gender traitor, woman hater, and even disgusting. So why represent men and target myself with these offensive monikers? It's simple. Children with fathers in their lives are 6 times less likely to drop out of school, 15 times less likely to go to prison, and 5 times less likely to commit suicide. So ladies, you can hate me, but please love your children more than you hate their fathers.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with former United States Senator Harry Reid. There are lands bills all across the state that are being worked on, and the discussion appears to me to be at this point to put it all together in an omnibus lands bill. A, is this the way to go? And B, are you concerned that the Clark County lands bill is endangered by the environmentalists at this point?
Sam, I know a lot about this.
I know you do.
When I came to the Senate, I should say to Congress, we had just a few thousand acres of wilderness. But when I left, under legislation that I sponsored, we now have about 5 million acres of wilderness. We have 2 big national monuments. We have still huge amounts of our state is controlled by the federal government, well over 80%. And I think that we should do the land bills the way we've done them in the past. I got a lot done with John Ensign. John was a conservative Republican. I was who I am as a Democrat. And we worked together to come up with various bills. We did the Clark County bill at that time. We did a Lincoln County. We did a number of bills. They were done on a nonpartisan basis. He was able to get some things for developers and others. I did my work for the environmental community. And we got a lot done. I think that's what we're going to have to do. There's not going to be a bill take care of all of it. That's wishful thinking.
Do you think the Clark County bill is dead on arrival at this point?
Well, right now it's a moving target because really no one fully understands what's in it.
Okay. Brad Crowell, who heads up Natural Resources and Conservation, was on the program recently, and he said that we have reached the tipping point in terms of making a decision about water for Las Vegas. And he said if we're going to spend billions of dollars, then we shouldn't just look at Eastern Nevada water. We need to look at all kinds of alternatives. Marilyn Kirkpatrick, a couple of days ago on the program, says, first of all, that Mr. Crowell should look at the 50-year water resource plan that's already in place for Southern Nevada, and that we could affect the bonding capacity for Southern Nevada with making statements like that.
Well, Marilyn knows what she's talking about. She understands local government. She understands state legislature. She was Speaker of the Assembly. But let me just give you this outlook on this. I was going to dedicate the Great Basin National Park Visitor Center. I was going to fly into Salt Lake City and drive over, but the weather was bad. So I said, I'm going to drive up. So I drove up from Las Vegas to Ely. And I was stunned because starting in Lincoln County, there's virtually on both sides of the highway, there's ranch land, farmland. What are they growing there? Mostly alfalfa, one of the most water-intensive plants there is. And we're in the desert, and it's done by irrigation. So I said to myself, I would rather be flushing toilets on the strip with that water than growing alfalfa. And I believe that. Alfalfa creates no jobs. I remember I went up to Elko County and talked to a family there they controlled 5 million acres of land for sheep and cattle. I asked them how many employees they had. 5. That says it all. I mean, if we need water, let's go ahead and get it. I'd rather be flushing toilets on the strip than growing alfalfa.
So at this point, Governor Sisolak says he's against bringing that water down. Marilyn Newton says that she's not interested in taking that water.
Who's Marilyn Newton?
I'm sorry, not Marilyn. She's the photographer. Marilyn Kirkpatrick says she's not interested in taking that water. Is this just something that we don't really discuss until the time it's needed?
Well, if the governor doesn't want it and Commissioner Kirkpatrick doesn't want it, then we're not going to get it. Until they change their mind, it won't happen.
And I mean, obviously, at some point, Southern Nevada is going to need more water. There is discussion of desalination off the coast of California. Is that just
Sam,
a pipe
all this
dream?
desalination stuff is just a pie in the sky. It's not going to happen. They don't even desalinate for Southern California. How are you going to bring all the water up here? It's not going to happen.
Well, and what they're talking about is that there is a couple of desal plants that are planned for Southern California.
Sam, I've been through all that.
Okay.
It's just nothing in the foreseeable future. That's just not going to happen.
And it took you 30 years to negotiate the Truckee River Operating Agreement. What would it take, even if that were possible, to renegotiate the Colorado River?
Well, we've done some side deals there, dealing with lining of ditches and other such things. It has been certainly hasn't been a changing of the whole agreement, but we've been able to do some good things to the original Colorado Water Agreement.
But in terms of adapting it so that California would take less water to allow Nevada to take more, no way?
We already have done a lot of it. Right now we have an agreement in effect where we are water banking water for Arizona. We allow them to pump into our aquifers water that they can't use. And if, in fact, they get where they need the water, we'll give it to them. So there are all kinds of things we're doing with water. Water is a commodity that we have to protect and be aware of, but there's no one single solution to solving the water problems. The Colorado River Agreement is not going to be solved overnight. We're going to have to do little side deals like we've been doing for the last 25 years.
And that's where we have to leave it. Senator Reid, thank you so much for allowing us to be here. And again, congratulations on your 80th birthday, and it's wonderful to see you.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be right back.
A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Miner, and I'm sure you'd agree that Nevada's a very special place to live. I was born here, and my husband and I have raised our family here. I feel it's a privilege to live and work in the Truckee Meadows. I especially enjoy helping my clients reach their real estate goals. Sometimes the smallest details provide the greatest satisfaction. I'd be complimented to talk to you about your next move.
Call Marilyn Miner at Dixon Realty, 742-1280, or log on to marilynminer.com.
Hey guys, are you watching the game at a friend's or the bar again because you can't watch at home with your wife? Or worse, because she kicked you out and kept your couch, your flat screen, and your kids? What's the one thing a man needs when he loses a good woman? A good lawyer. And when he loses a bad woman, he needs a great lawyer. What makes a good woman a bad woman? You tell me. You're the one that can't watch the game in your own home. I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York, and I represent men in divorce, custody, and family law matters.
ProGroup Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, ProGroup takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. ProGroup Management, workers' comp that works for you.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next broadcast.